Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all the praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High and His only begotten Son. Call Layim La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Rash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who root and teach well. Wa Barakathon, unto the hopeful elect. Okay, now today through the Spirit is going to be a quick lesson entitled Humility and Mercy. All right, and it goes to what we were at camp, the elder in our camp down here in Dallas. The elder in Dallas, his name is Elder Arianaza, all right, or GMS in Rome. Okay, and he goes into it. He went into how through the Spirit, how the Lord how the Lord dealt with the men that were humble and had humility, and also how the Lord dealt with men that were merciful, towards the body and towards their brethren. The men who forgave their brothers, as in, King David's situation. When you look into, Yahweh Shai, okay, you look at Moses, all right, which Moses and King David are the same person through the reincarnation. But when they're in their life stories, they showed humility. And then you read all the other prophets as well. Look at the 3 holy children. The Lord dealt with them for having humility. You see, when the 3 holy children were casted into the furnace, you can read about that in the Apocrypha. All right, when they were casted into the furnace, they were saying, "If it be your will, deliver us. But we know we have sinned and come short." So they were willing to accept being judged because that's how humble they were. That's how much humility they had. They knew that their works were short and that it was all the Lord's will if they were going to get delivered or not. But they said, "If it be your will, please deliver us." We understand, we acknowledge our sins, and they were accountable. And the Lord delivered them. He made that furnace not burn them, and they didn't even feel, their clothes was good. That furnace didn't even affect them, but it affected those men that put them in the furnace. They burned them up. All right, and then you can see Yahweh Shai right there with them, delivering them, as he always has done. Okay, and that's going to continue to happen for those that have that humility, because it says, "He that humbleth himself shall be exalted, and he that exalted himself shall be abased." Yahweh Shai said that, and it's written, quoted throughout the scriptures. So we got to be in that mindset of having humility. Being like our Lord. Yahweh Shai was humble, man. Yahweh Shai didn't commit any iniquities, and then guess what he told? He had an account where somebody called him good. He said, "Why callest thou me good? There is none good but my Father in heaven." So Yahweh Shai was in a position that he was in. He still said, "Nah, man," because he knew what he did in the reincarnation. So he said, "Nah, don't call me good, man." And Yahweh Shai knew exactly what he did in his past lives. You see, but that showed how humble he was. Also, when he washed the disciples' feet. And he told the disciples, "As I've done to you, you do one to another. You serve one another." So that's what this thing is about. And it takes humility to do that. To take the low and serve the next man. To sacrifice for the body. Lay down your life, present your body living sacrifice, as Romans 12, and then it says, "Greater love is than a man that lay down his life for his friend." Right? So you laying down your life is you teaching the word. You letting go of things you want to do the Lord's will. Okay? That's sacrificing. And there's no greater love than that. And ultimately, you actually giving your whole actual physical life. For the sake of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's a sacrifice, and that takes humility to put yourself on the side for the sake of the Lord, and that's what He's requiring from us. And also, as I was speaking about as well, mercy, being merciful. It says how you judge one person. It says he has showed no mercy shall not receive mercy. Loosely paraphrasing, that's in the book of James. Because if you're super, judgmental and overly zealous over others, then the Lord is gonna be like that towards you, and we can't afford to the Lord to judge us to the law in its entirety for the Lord to be zealous with us. That's why the scriptures speak on that in Matthew the 7th chapter. How we're supposed to be merciful and forgive your brother. Okay, and then also not be a hypocrite, not be an actor. So you judging and going ham on your brother, but you ain't even right. And at the end of the day, we're all in the flesh. So we got iniquities and we got stuff that make us not be right. So, regardless, we're not right. Okay? We have flaws. And it's easily something some stuff that could be nitpicked on us. That's why we're not supposed to nitpick nobody else, because it could be stuff nitpicked on us because we're in this flesh. And we fall short. You break one iniquity, it's like until you breaking them all. So just as much as one of these niggas in the world, these 2/3 need Yahushua blood, you need it just as much, because you're in the same flesh, the same vessel. The Lord just has his spirit upon you, and he's moving you to do righteous works. But guess what? Just as the Lord is moving you to do righteous works and do the right thing, he can remove you to do wickedness. You see? That's why Proverbs 21 and what is it? 21 is Proverbs 20. I know it goes to a man's goings is of the Lord. How can a man understand his own way? Okay? So our actions and everything we take, our heart is in the hands of the Lord. That's why in Job it says, it speaks on that. I believe he's speaking to one of his friends, and they said it. Basically, the Lord fashions your mind, and he sets your instructions in your mind, has angels and set your instructions in your mind before you even do it, what you're going to do the next day. So everything is the Lord's will. The Lord is controlling everything, even the rulers of this world. Proverbs 16:4 quotes, "The Lord hath made all things, even the wicked, for the day of doom, or day of evil." And also, guess what else? The Lord said the heart of the kings is in my hand. So guess what? Even the king, the rulers of this world, the Lord is controlling them. Esau, all these top banking families, these Rothschilds, Oppenheimers, the Lord is directing their steps too. And physical demon Satan. Okay? He's taking instructions from the Lord, and Satan is nothing but an angel. Angels have certain jobs or duties they were created to do, and they're just going to perform those. So really, Satan is really just doing his job. That's what the Lord made him do, be an angel on the left-hand side, the top angel on the left-hand side. So he's just doing his job. So really, he's not doing wickedness. The Lord is not mad at Satan for what he does, because, Satan is just doing his job at the end of the day. He was created to be an angel on the left-hand side. Right? While you have righteous angels that are created for salvation and other things like that, to shield brothers, and you know what I'm saying? You have angels created for that purpose. You see? So with that being said, you can't you know what I'm saying, you can't get in a proud mindset and then be thinking that, you know what I'm saying, you just got it, because you ain't. And the Lord will show you ain't got it, man. So that's why we got to make sure, speaking to myself first and foremost, we stay having humility, and also watch how you deal with brothers. Because if you want to judge and be overly zealous over a brother, it could be your mindset too. That's why you might have to rebuke it. You might see your brother do something like, man, brother tripping or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or think he ain't a man of the Lord, but hey, just as he went off, it says, it speaks on that in Galatians too. Consider thyself. Because you looking at him doing that like you ain't in the same flesh. And you can fall, you can do something worse than he did because you're in his flesh. You see, in which you having that mindset, that'll lead you to being merciful towards your brother, because you're like, shit, man, we ain't got it. Bros are in the flesh. We all in the flesh, man. So we ain't gonna be perfect. Brothers might do something that's offensive. You forgive that brother, And then certain stuff, just take it up with the Lord. Don't hold no grief towards your brother. That's why scripture speak on, you can't even come to the altar and sacrifice if you got an alt with your brother and you ain't solved it. You gotta be in that spirit of King David. You saw what the stuff Saul did to David, but King David still forgave Saul. And then he had the opportunity to kill Saul, and what did he do? He showed him mercy. So when King David did his 3 transgressions, the Lord showed King David mercy. Right? When King David went off, he murdered. You see? He numbered Israel, and then he committed adultery. And what the Lord do? The Lord forgave him because what? He was merciful. He was a merciful king. It says King David, for being a merciful king, had kept his throne. Loosely paraphrasing it, Maccabees, First Maccabees, I believe it's the second chapter, first or second chapter. It speaks on that towards the end. It says, "Be zealous as your forefathers," and it names all the acts our forefathers did. Phineas, all right, Joshua, when he was back on the scene, and named all of them. Okay, how the Lord dealt with them for them being faithful. But King David was merciful, and what did the Lord do? He showed him the utmost amount of mercy. He did sins worthy of death, and the Lord forgave him all. You see, and we're the house of David, and we got to be as our forefather David. He was merciful, so you got to be merciful towards your brethren, right? Because we're all in the flesh. Brothers ain't got it yet, man. We all got to be changed at the end of the day. You know, a brother gonna mess up sometimes. He might say something that jacked up, whatever. Solve that. That's not bigger than your salvation. It's not bigger than you making it. It's not bigger than the kingdom being established, man. You see? Because these men that you with right now, we're the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? You gonna let some little thing break the unity of the brotherhood because you had a little ought with a brother? Nah, man, you solve that. Have mercy. You want the Lord to have mercy on you? We fall short every day. You can't put every sodomite you see to death. You know, it'll make you mad, you know, because the Lord gave us the ability to have that discernment to know how to judge, but you can't do no judgment. So guess what? that's sin. He's supposed to be put to death. All these all these dudes using witchcraft, these drug users, they supposed to be put to death. You can't even do it. You see? You ain't wearing your garments ain't got all the same thing. It's not made of the same things. And those are just little stuff. It's many more iniquities that we commit on daily, man. And that's because we ain't got it. You know? We gotta be changed, man, at the end of the day. So brothers ain't gonna be perfect. You gotta forgive your brother. You know, be merciful. Also, when a brother doesn't offend, it might do something kind of offensive. Look at how much you offend the Lord. And then think about that before you start trying to go crazy on a brother. And you know, the Lord will mess around and when you do that, the Lord will look, when you offend the Lord, because we offend him on a daily, he'll look past that because the way you act towards your brothers. You see? The way you judge is how you're going to be judged. Because the Lord's getting ready to bring everything to the light. And if you're being a hypocrite, you know, it's going to be shown. And you don't want the Lord to expose you as that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we gotta have humility. You know what I'm saying? And then guess what? Be merciful towards your brother. You know, speaking to myself first and foremost. You know, you don't want the Lord to judge you harshly, so don't judge your brother harshly. Forgive. Salaki, that was Satan, man. But hey, you know, the way you want to deal with that brother, you deal with other brothers. Okay? That's why the scriptures say also, the way, what is it, Matthew? I believe it's Matthew 7:18. It goes, the way you want men to treat you, treat others that way. Loosely paraphrasing. It basically saying treat others how you want to be treated. That's right out the scriptures, man. About Matthew 7, I believe it's verse 18. It's somewhere in Matthew 7. It speaks on the way you want to be treated. But man, you treat the man in the same way. And it also goes to scriptures, you know what I'm saying, you know, loving your neighbor, you know, you're not doing no iniquities towards your neighbor, which really the men, really the Israel, you know, you're not committing adultery with his woman and doing all those things. It names that, what is it, Romans, you know, that's what it's speaking about. It's how you love your neighbor, by you not trespassing against him. Okay, but that's the point I wanted to touch on, man. You know, keep the humility and stay humble and have mercy. Stay humble and merciful towards the body. You know, because the balance. This lesson I did a balance to it. It was basically, you know, the humility was going into, you know, you just taking a low here. It's certain situations where you're not gonna be able to do what you want to do. You just gotta do what's needed for the sake of the body, so the ministry won't get blamed or whatever the case may be. Sacrificing what you want to do for the sake of the body. You know, that's you know what I'm saying, different things like that, you know, or you just being reproved. You just gotta take the low and have humility, stay humble, and don't get puffed up. Like knowledge puffing it up, but when you understand who's in control of your portion at all times, then it should keep you from being puffed up, unless the Lord, you know what I'm saying, has something else where to happen. Because you understand that the source is the Lord, and you ain't doing nothing. The Lord is putting in your spirit to do everything you do, you know. So we have nothing to get big-headed or puffed up about. But also, you know, being merciful with the body, with the men of the Lord, your brothers, man. Forgive your brother, man. He ain't in a new body yet, man. So he gonna mess up. You should expect your brother to mess up sometime. He ain't in a new body yet. We all are short right now, you know. So that brother want the kingdom, man. You know what I'm saying? We all on the same accord. We gotta fight to keep the unity of the body. You see? But anyways, that's the point, man. Abaratazah, this was edifying. I want to end it off by saying, Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Work Until next time, double honor, city, apostle, great millstone, root and teach well. Shalom.